movie. And so what movie did I watch? So I'm coming down, I'm like maybe like, I'm on the come down, let's just put it that way. And I decide to watch The Butterfly Effect 2. So I watched the first one of these movies a couple days ago, week ago, I don't remember. And HBO Max. Now I just want to say my experience, I saw that this movie was on there because it was in the recommended feed. But then when I so I added it to the list or whatever, and I was like, okay. Now I love really shitty sequels. I love it. Wrong Turn is a great example. You ever see the Wrong Turn sequels? Who among us has seen Wrong Turn 4? Wow. What a movie. Wrong Turn 4. Okay. Final Destination. I think Final Destination does a really good job of it's the same movie, right? All 5 of them are the same movie, right? But I think they do a decent job of changing it up, right? So I'm thinking, all right, is this going to be a Final Destination, Butterfly Effect 2? I don't know. So anyway, first of all, I want to say that the first movie, it's okay. We're starting on a movie that's okay. We're not, it's not a masterpiece, the first movie. Right? By any means, but it's okay. This movie is everything from the first movie, but worse. Now, does that mean it's a bad movie? I don't know, whatever. So anyway, so this movie, right, so you already know the concept. He's going to go back in time. He's going to fuck it up. So how do they make a movie where you already know the plot interesting? Well, the answer is you don't. You just try your best. So the character in this movie, right, he goes back in time by looking at photos, right? So he's celebrating his girlfriend's birthday. He takes photos, and then he gets into a car crash, and all of his friends die. He's the only survivor. His girlfriend's dead. Blah blah blah. Right. So then he lives a year. He's in a coma. He wakes up. He lives a year. He's depressed. He's drinking. He's fucking. I'm depressed, bro. I mean, I would be depressed too if all my friends and family died. Right? So that's crazy. And so then he's he's taking a trip down memory lane. He's looking at some old photos, and then then the butterfly effect. So then now we're in the movie, right? So we're in the movie. All right, he's back in time. It worked. And then he manages to save his friends, right? He wakes up back in the future, and he's like, oh, my girlfriend's alive. My friends are having a great time, right? Wow, he's got it all. Just like the first movie. The formula is, identical to the first movie. Right? And again, it's the same thing with, Final Destination or, Friday the 13th or, Nightmare on Elm Street. I love, movies that have, way too many sequels. Just because it's fun. It's fun to put something on. You already know the plot. It's decent of a concept, right? You just put it on just to see how they do it. I think that's cool. Right, I'm into it. I like Scream has great sequels. I'm into it. Okay. But anyway, so then he his boss at work or whatever is a prick, and he's thinking, all right, so I realized I can travel back in time. Now I've got it all. My boss is a prick, so whatever, but I got it all. Right, my girlfriend's alive, my friends are happy, we're good. But then he gets greedy. Right, because that's the point of the movie. Otherwise, it would just be he went back in time once. Now he's feeling pretty good, and now he's just chilling. Then the movie's over. This isn't a fucking 10-minute movie. This is a movie, right? So you got to go back in time to fuck it up. So he goes back in time. He fucks it up. Right. So he goes back in time and he tries to fuck with his boss before he becomes his boss, when he's just his coworker. And then he goes back into the future. And now he's the vice president of his company or whatever. But all of his friends are fucked up. His friends are poor and getting bullied by some mob or something. I don't even really know what the fuck. An investor in his company, he works for a startup or something, the main character. And an investor in the startup kills the workers because he didn't get paid back. The logic is strange. Okay, so he works for a startup. right? And then he fucks with his boss. He goes back in time to fuck with his boss, and then he becomes the boss, right? But then, becoming the boss results in his girlfriend breaking up with him, and oh, boo-hoo. So anyway, but then his friend is, like, held hostage, okay? By, like, an investor, quote-unquote, who wanted his money back. So he signed a contract investing in the startup, and the contract is, like, a paying back timeline or whatever. But this investor's, like, also, like, a mob boss or something. So he kills, like, his friend, and then, like, kidnaps him. And it's like, what? Like, it makes no sense. Why is a mob investing in this guy's startup? That's never explained, right? It's just like, what? Okay, but okay. You need something, right? You need something in the movie. So let's make a random investor in the startup some crazy-ass bitch. All right, I'm in. So anyway, like, there's a shootout in this nightclub or whatever it is, like, and then, like, his girlfriend dies. She's there, but they're broken up. I don't even know. It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, so then he's, like, trying to go back in time. And this part was, like, the coolest part of the movie. So he has, like, his cell phone, which, it's, like, 2006 this movie was made. So it's, like, a flip phone, right? And he's, like, looking at a photo on his cell phone, like, while there's, like, a shooting going on, while this, like, investor is trying to, like, kidnap him or something. Okay, it doesn't make any fucking sense. But anyway, so he's looking at the phone, like, the butterfly effect thing is happening, like, the screen's going. I just want to say, like, both in the first movie and this movie, the effects are good. Like, when the time travel thing is happening, like, when the screen is, like, fading in and out, and, like, all the things, like, that part's cool, okay? Like, the effects of that particular thing. Some of the other effects, not so good. But that particular thing, they nailed it. Right, so he's in this, like, bathroom, hiding from, like, gunfire from this investor who wants to kill him for some reason. It doesn't make any. Right, and he's looking at the cell phone. He's trying to go back in time. But then they subvert the narrative. They subvert the trope. Because then they catch him before he can go back in time. And he wakes up as, like, he's waking up in I don't even know how to describe that scene. Just watch the movie. So then he, like, has to run away from being kidnapped to then go back. I thought that was cool. It's a good subversion. It's like, oh, you can't, like, it's not that easy to go back in time, like, under time constraints, right? Okay, so I'm into that. That's good. Why the investor wanted to kill him for some reason makes no sense at all. They could have worked on that, right? But that part, okay. So then he goes back in time. And so then, like, he tries to, like, break up with his girlfriend or whatever, because, like, he doesn't want to kill her or get her killed, because he realizes that, he's fucking things up. And then they get into a fight, and then, like, she, like takes the car. By the way, like, what a bitch. So, like, he, and, like, drives his girlfriend and their two friends to, like, this, like, park or whatever. So then he gets into, like, an argument with his girlfriend, and the girlfriend just steals the car. Like, regardless of, like, you're just leaving your other friend stranded. That's a bitch move. Like, I'm sorry, that's fucking crazy. So anyway, then the main character steals another car, and then just, like, tries to chase her, ends up killing himself, and then the movie's over. I was like, okay. Like, is this movie worth watching? Probably not. But again, I like unnecessary sequels. I am so in to unnecessary sequels. I'm also in to, like a formula that like Final Destination's a great example of, like, they have a formula. The plot of every movie. Like, when you watch Final Destination 2, all the plot. How everything's gonna end. They're all gonna die, right? But it's still, it's enjoyable. This is not Final Destination 2. This is a really bad sequel. But if you like really bad sequels, because I do. I like really bad sequels. So I'm in. If you like bad sequels, I would watch this. Andrea, do you like foreign horror? Absolutely. Feel free to suggest anything. But anyway, I'm aware that there's a Butterfly Effect 3, but it is not on HBO Max or any other streaming service that I own. So I will not watch that until it is on one of those services. But again, first movie, not great, pretty cheesy. Definitely significantly better than this one, I must say. Right? This is definitely not Final Destination 2. So, that's my review. But I'm into, but I like, just the concept that there's unnecessary sequels, I'm into it. Like, I like watching bad movies. I like watching like, again, one of my favorite series is Wrong Turn. Right? You have Wrong Turn, good movie. You got Wrong Turn 2. If anyone has seen Wrong Turn, you know what I'm talking about, okay? You got Wrong Turn 3, which is like... And then you got Wrong Turn 4, which is like... And then you got like Wrong Turn 5, which is like... You know what I mean? So, Realign. The only reason I would watch horror movies are for Booba. They don't scare me? Well, first of all, I don't know why Booba would scare you. Second of all, there is Booba in Butterfly Effect 2, so add it to your list, Realign. But I love it. Like, I'm into unnecessary... Like, I love it. Like, I just want to be very clear. I love bad sequels. I love bad movies. I love it all. I love, like, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. Those are the classics. You got Halloween, right? One of those, like, series that I haven't explored enough is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I want to watch more of those unnecessary sequels. Some of them I've heard are decent. But, like, for me, like, I love it. Like, Scream has a great series of sequels. Like, you know, and by great, again, like, you know, it's all relative. It's all relative. And I mean that, like, I have the same opinion on, like, video games as well. Like, I love Mega Man. Even the bad ones. I mean, I think the, like, floor quality, like, the worst Mega Man game is still, like, better than most games. But, like, I love sequels. I love when you have a formula and you just, like, run with it until the cows come home. I'm super into it. I'm a movie snob. There's no accounting for taste. Yeah, I'm not a movie snob. I love movies. I've been really getting into the cinema universe lately. And I love bad movies. I love good movies. I love mediocre movies. I'm into it. I'm super into it. So, there you go. Butterfly Effect 2.